Hi, I'm Trevor Gatter, and this is my video log for Comp 210. And I'm going to be doing an interview with my roommate about our different perspectives on fishing.
When the topic of fishing arises, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
For me, when I think about fishing, I think about Alaska in the Bering Sea, and that is really different from a lot of people, I would assume.
So, what types of fish have you caught, and which one is the biggest?
I've caught a bunch of fish in my day, different types of salmon and things like that, and trout and bass, and but I would say probably the biggest fish I ever caught was when I was fishing in Alaska. Caught about 130-pound halibut, which kind of looks just like a big flounder.
What equipment do you use to catch your fish?
Uh, the equipment I use is probably a lot different from your average rod and reel. It's basically the same aspect, but um, we use a big net on a drum and just reel it in and pick the fish out of the net. So that could be pretty foreign to a lot of people when it comes to fishing.
When you go fishing, where do you typically go, and how long do you stay there for?
Well, for me, fishing is a lot longer season than your average sport fisherman. I travel to Alaska at the beginning of summer and stay there for about 2 months. And yeah, it's a pretty long trip, but it's worth it in the end.
What is the weather like outside when you go fishing, and are you adequately prepared for it?
The weather can get pretty bad on the Bering Sea. The waves can get up to 14, 15 feet tall with winds of 25 knots. It could get pretty rough and rainy, but I have full rain gear and survival suit, so in case of emergency, so I'd say I'm pretty adequately prepared. So Miles, we've already got my thoughts on fishing. What about you? What do you think of when you think of fishing? So Miles, typically when you're fishing off the pier, what types of fish are you catching? And what is the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Well, I usually catch scope, and they're native to California, and I have to say the largest fish I've caught that was actually edible was a trout, and it's probably a couple pounds, nothing too big.
So when you go fishing, what type of equipment do you use?
Well, when I go fishing alone, I have a cut rate pole from Walmart, cut rate tackle and lure. And when I go fishing with friends, it's some pretty high end equipment. So, I pretty much have way better chance of catching some real stuff when I use their high end equipment.
So Miles, typically when you go fishing, what type of weather is outside and how do you prepare for it?
It's usually bright, sunny, and clear, and I usually wear my shorts and a t shirt. It gets windy on occasion, but I can stand it.
So Miles, when you do get the catch of the day, what do you usually do with it?
Well, California regulations prohibit me from keeping it, so I just throw it back.
So Miles, does this type of fishing affect you physically or mentally in any way?
Physically, no. The fish are incredibly easy to reel in. Mentally, no. Other than the catch of a fish is rather satisfying, but other than that, no.